In recent years, Michigan corn growers have been reporting that the new high-yielding corn varieties leave a lot of crop residue that is slow to break down. This is a particularly troublesome problem in no-till cropping systems. Excessive crop residue on the surface in the spring can interfere with planter performance and delay planting, seed germination, and emergence by keeping the soil cool and wet. While all the possible reasons for this problem are not well understood, many growers are interested in vertical tillage as a way to improve residue management. Today, we are at a field day at Spencer Farms in Almont, Michigan to watch some of this equipment work in heavy corn residue. Before we focus on the tillage tools, it is important to point out that residue management begins at harvest. Distributing the residue behind the combine will help get the residue in contact with the soil and improve the flow of residue through the machine. The main goals of vertical tillage are to fracture, loosen, and level the top few inches of soil, cut and reduce the size of the stalks, and get the residue in contact with the soil. This will enhance the microbial activity necessary for stalk breakdown and decomposition. A typical power requirement for these tools is around 8 to 10 PTO horsepower per foot of operating weight. They are not high resistance tools, but they are high speed tools, typically running 8 to 10 miles per hour. That is why the horsepower requirement is so high. A 30-foot machine can cover 25 to 30 acres per hour at a cost of about $8 to $10 per acre. Generally, these tools have done a nice job of sizing the residue and loosening the soil. The residue is heavier in some areas, and it looks like another pass in the spring might be needed to improve soil warm-up and create more uniform planting conditions. Let's take a closer look at the soil engaging components of some of these tools. They typically have discs or coulters with a narrow spacing that roll over the residue to cut and distribute it. The gangs are on a slight angle and the disc blades are shallowly concave to provide lateral mixing of soil and residue. Coulters vary in width and number of flutes, and the wider flutes typically move more soil. The rear gang is typically a spring tooth, rolling bar, or rolling spike harrow to level and firm the soil and help distribute residue. Aeration tillage with a rolling tine harrow is a vertical tillage option that loosens and fractures the soil to a depth of 6 to 8 inches. This can help alleviate shallow compaction and improve water infiltration. These tools can be mounted on a caddy or manure tank and combined with a slurry distribution system to size corn residue while placing liquid manure just above the surface in the loosened soil. The added nitrogen and microbial activity provided by the manure may increase the rate of residue breakdown and create a more suitable seedbed at planting time. Keep a systems approach in mind when evaluating machinery sets. You may need to consider pre-plant zone tillage or other planter modifications for optimal planter performance and crop yield in these high residue conditions.